All right, here I am today. It is July 10th, and it looks like April 10th out there. It's been a relatively cool summer so far, but we'll see what happens. I was looking through my magazines, and I'm thinking, all right, now, what interesting tidbit would I have to go about today? This is from 1997. This is the oldest magazine that I still have, and it's the All-Star game that was in San Jose, celebrating the 1997 Coca-Cola NHL All-Star Game. So, big sponsorship deal. And you can tell it's the 90s because lots of loud colors, loud jerseys. But what really gets me here is the participants in said All-Star Game. It's like a who's who of Hall of Famers. You've got Daniel Alfredson, who's going to be in the Hall. Peter Bondra, who eventually could end up in the Hall. Ray Bork, that's that's the money shot there. That's Ray Bork and Martin Brodeur in net. Dino Ciccarelli, he's a Hall of Famer. Paul Coffey, Hall of Famer. Wayne Gretzky, obviously Hall of Famer. Dominic Hasek, Hall of Famer. Kevin Hatcher. Oh, the Hatchers. Potentially would have been Hall of Famers if not for rule changes that made it really difficult for players who weren't great skaters to keep in the game. The Hatchers were the two guys who, once foot speed became a massive issue, they were done. But next to him, Jaromir Jagr, he is still going strong. Just to show that I'm not making any of this shit up. Like this, these are the All-Star teams. This is insane. John LeClair, not in the Hall, but he's always eligible, and you never know. Brian Leetch, Hall of Famer. Mario Lemieux, Hall of Famer. Eric Lindros made it this year. Mark Messier. Yep. Zygmunt Palffy. No. If Palffy had stayed in the NHL, and I think, come on. He wore those jerseys. Look, it's Captain Highliner. You can't not have Captain Highliner. He had the Captain Highliner jerseys on. Mark Recchi, not a Hall of Famer. He definitely should be. That's insane. Jeff Sanderson, no, not a Hall of Famer, but rocking my shit. He's rocking my Hartford jersey there, my blue one. Scott Stevens, Hall of Famer. Robert Svela. I'm thinking Robert Svela is probably not in the Hall of Fame. Although, sarcasm aside, he was a very effective defenseman, just not for very long. Johnny Van Beesbrook. Not in the Hall of Fame, but, it says here, third All-Star Game, Vezina Trophy winner in 86. Great instincts, nearly flawless technique, has notched 7 21 seasons, ranked 6th among active goalies in career wins. And he did have a good long career. And the coach, Doug McLean. So Sportsnet would definitely approve of this video. And then the Western Conference, you have Tony Amonte, not in the Hall of Fame. Jason Arnott, not in the Hall of Fame. Rob Blake's a Hall of Famer. Pavel Bure's a Hall of Famer. And Bure, of course, is wearing the old Canucks. I always chuckle if I see somebody wearing a jersey that has Bure on the back of it, and it's the current jersey. Never wore that. Always, and I think I've mentioned this before, I've always found that weird when I see a jersey at a game and it's got a name at the back of it, and I know that name was never on the back when that was the jersey that the team wore. Like, if Bo Horvat's name was on the back of this jersey and you saw me at a hockey game, you'd have every right to throw shit at me because Horvat never wore this. Thankfully for Horvat, although with the way they played last year, I still think these would have been some nice duds to wear in some of those games they were playing. But it's bizarre to me, is the whole idea of wearing a jersey and saying I'm going to put a name on the back of it. I know I'm going to put Guy Lafleur's name on the back of a Detroit jersey. You might as well. Because if you're going to put him on the back of a jersey that the guy never wore, anyways. I get far more passionate about this than I should. But anyways, Chris Chelios is a Hall of Famer. Theoren Fleury should be in the Hall. Forsberg, I believe Forsberg's in the Hall. I believe so. Darian Hatcher. So both Hatchers were in the All-Star game, and neither's in the Hall. It was too bad. I remember, Darian Hatcher was one of my favorite players. He hit everything that moved, but he was relatively clean about it. I can't remember any massive suspensions or really dirty hits by Darian Hatcher, and he was 6'5", 225. Tough defenseman with a combative nature, and had 31 points the season that he went to the All-Star game here. Yeah, and him and Kevin both played in Dallas for a little while, so I have a soft spot for the fact that they played together, and yeah. Brett Hall, Hall of Famer. Paul Correa, should be. Eventually, Correa gets there. Al McInnes, Hall of Famer. Mike Modano, Hall of Famer. Andy Moog. I've gone on, okay, fourth All-Star game past Gump Worsley and Harry Lumley at number 6 and 7 on the career wins list this season. A poised veteran who knows his angles, has 3 Stanley Cup rings. First NHL season, 80-81. And this is the 96-97 All-Star game. So 16 years following his rookie season, he's in an All-Star game. Owen Nolan, not in the Hall. I could see him getting there. I could see it. Chris Osgood, I've mentioned Osgood before. Second All-Star game, very mobile in the nets. Finished second in goals against average last season and is among the league's leaders. Not only a top goal stopper, he scored a goal in the game last year. Sandis Ozolinsh. I love Sandis Ozolinsh. One of my favorite players in the 90s and early 2000s. Patrick Roy. I think he's in the Hall. Joe Sakic right next to him. So, Colorado fans, feast your eyes on it. There it is. You're stuck with them forever. No, probably not forever. Matt Sundin is right next to them. He's in the Hall. Oleg Tverdovsky, probably not going in the Hall. I can't see it. And Steve Yzerman at the bottom next to Coach Ken Hitchcock. And eventually Ken Hitchcock will be in the Hall of Fame. He's been coaching a long, long time. So those are your 2 All-Star lineups. That is crazy. And then they don't even include the veterans in here. I don't think they included the veterans in the pictures. No, they did. They did. I know they had veteran votes. And then you have your scorecard for the All-Star game, so they know there's going to be a lot of goals. They have room here for 20 goals. That wouldn't cover all the All-Star game goals some of the time. And then they've got stuff in here with other players who were in the skills competition. With glowing pucks, Fox bots, and pundit stats, Fox Sports is changing the way you watch the NHL. Oh my God, it's an article on the glowing puck. Oh, we all remember the glowing puck. You know, that thing that we never wanted to see again? Ever? Nobody. Well, like, it was one of those things where I had never watched a hockey game and gone, I wonder where the puck is. I could tell, even before HD TVs and even before, really modern televisions, I knew where the puck was. Even in black and white, I knew where the puck was. I'm old enough to have watched games in black and white. It was back in the day, you had 13 channels, and I'd watch on that UHF channel. Sometimes you'd get like a French feed of an NHL game on that UHF channel. You had to be on just the right channel, but it's black and white. So it'd be in French, and it's fuzzy, but I still knew where the puck was because I could tell where the players were attacking and who was shooting the puck. Oh, the glowing puck. Oh God. All aglow. That's how Fox Sports began its 3rd NHL season with the broadcast of 47th All-Star Game. That's also how Fox began its 2nd NHL season. Think about it. They didn't start showing All-Star games or showing NHL games that season, and they started with the All-Star Game. That's over halfway into the season. That's stupid. Over halfway into the season. Oh, by the way, the NHL's happening. Um, Yay. Can you imagine that with the NFL? Can you imagine, Fox? Welcome to week 9 of the NFL. From weeks 1 to 8, doesn't really matter what happened. We didn't show you anything. God, it was such a bad contract. Um, yeah, it introduces it's much publicized glowing puck technology, Fox Tracks, at the 1996 NHL All-Star Game in Boston. The reason for the glow is simple: to make the game easier to follow on television, thus continuing the NHL's popularity surge. The NHL's popularity surged so much that coming out of the lockout, they didn't have a contract. For the uninitiated, Fox Tracks uses a specially modified puck that has an internal infrared component and a computer chip to transmit data to 16 receivers around the rink. That technology's there. Can we fix offsides and fucking did the puck cross the line or not? The technology was there 20 years ago. They can make the puck glow. We can tell where it is. The receivers process a variety of information such as the speed of slap shots, but more importantly, highlight the puck with a translucent blue dot, but only on TV. In the arena, it looks like a regular black puck. Like there's anybody watching this fucking glowing puck with a tail and going, that's gotta be trippy live, man. Like, that puck glows. How does it change color like that? I don't know. This is a weird world we live in, man. Did you get the shelter built? I'm gonna have the shelter built later. It's made out of boxes, but I'm gonna put duct tape on the boxes. Okay. I'm a little overtired. When a shot exceeds 75 miles per hour, the computer technology produces a red comet tail effect, which illuminates the puck's path on viewers' TV screens. A video game effect? Yes, but it neutralizes the big knock on hockey, that the puck is too hard to follow. No, seriously, this was the criticism of hockey 20 years ago. This is from a country that watches golf, okay? Right now they're putting a glowing trail on golf balls. You know why? They've realized that those replays where the guy hits the ball and they show the sky, all we see is the sky. I get HDTV. I just see a sky, and it's pebble. It's a pebble in the sky, and it's like, can I see the pebble in the sky? Not really. So now they've put a glowing tail on that. I don't know if it's Fox that's done that or not. Oh, God. When lead Fox analyst John Davidson goes home after a game and finds his two daughters talking about the glowing puck, saying it's great and wanting to know how the effect's done, that is something. Yeah, I think it's important to tailor the game to an ex-player's daughters. That'll work. Points out Ed Gorin. I wonder if there's any relation to Lee Gorin, Fox Sports executive producer. What it says is that the video game aura carries a significant impact with the young set. The young set. A targeted audience for continued growth of the league. Many hardcore hockey fans don't need this puck enhancement, concedes NHL Senior Vice President Steve Solomon. No relation to Solomon's Mines. But when ratings were dipping in the US, that suggested to me that a whole lot of people had not been brought into the hockey experience. No, when ratings are dropping, it means people were brought in, didn't like it, and left the hockey experience. The glowing puck made people aware of the sport, especially in areas that haven't been hockey hotbeds. Seriously. Made people aware of the sport. They didn't know hockey existed till the puck was glowing. Like, they'd walk into an arena, there'd be a game going on. What's going on down there? I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to look. Is that glowing? That's hockey! Hockey has glowing things. Bullshit. How many times have we watched a baseball player? We don't see the ball. You don't need a camera on the field that's pointing up at the ball. We know where it is. Jeez. During the 1996 World Series, the Fox box became a statistician's dream, showing the score, innings, outs, pitch count, and via red dots how many men were on base and where. I'm going to go ahead and say that's different than a glowing puck. That's information that's good to have, and I agree that having that information is good. I think watching a baseball game now has kind of become a little too much like a video game, and I feel bad for umpires. Because when that ball's coming in at 100 miles an hour, and everybody's knees and shoulders are at a different height. And you gave that guy that pitch to the last batter, and now you're not going to give him to him this batter, are you? Are you not? Oh, the ball's coming in at 100 miles per hour. You have no time to decide. There's some bad ones. There was the one that basically cost the Jays the game because he couldn't find the strike zone himself. I mean, it's one thing for a pitcher not to find it, but for an umpire not to be able to find the strike zone. As a baseball fan who enjoys pitching, when an umpire is extremely inconsistent with his strike zone, that is just brutal to watch. All right. With hockey, the score, period, and time are displayed throughout the game. Now stand by for flashes on how many goals Owen Nolan scored, the penalty minutes Claude Lemieux has served, and how many saves John Van Beesbrook has amassed during a game. Because we can't count. This relies on people being stupid. Goran says Fox tracks Fox bots. This is getting really close to Foxy Boxing. The computer-generated robots that pop onto the screen after goals. Oh, fuck, I forgot about them. Oh, God, it's a flashback. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, right. That's what those are. Aren't those? I think they're still in the NFL. I think they still have those robots in the NFL. Oh, God. Oh. And the Fox box are used with one goal in mind, to make the game fun to watch. Because hockey's not fun on its own. It's a giant shit show. It sucks. That's why I've been watching it for 35 years, because I hate myself. TV people tend to assume the public is watching every frame closely, but they just don't watch TV that way. You have conversations in the room, the kids interrupt, and so on. And so on. The fuck are they talking about? Clearly the star of the show in the middle season of Fox's 5-year, $150 million NHL deal is the computer-enhanced puck. The impact of the high-tech puck accompanying the calls of Mike Emmerich, analysis of Davidson, and points by Joe Micheletti is a rating surge in key, translate young, demographics. More kids are watching hockey on Fox than baseball and NCAA basketball, Goran maintains. The effect may not be instantaneous, but a foundation is being built among fans who are getting interested in hockey because of Fox tracks. Nielsen figures are dramatic. With Fox aboard, Fox publicist Dan Bell says NHL ratings have surged 62%, which means that about 62 people are watching, among 18 to 34-year-old men since 1994 when ABC broadcast NHL games. ABC had a shitty deal. ABC did nothing to promote the NHL when they had it. Yes, Fox promoted it, and by promoting it at all, he gained 62% of an audience, but it was a really shitty audience for ABC. While the idea of a glowing puck received a tough response in Canada. Oh, I don't know why I have my hand up. Maloney, a native of Ontario, rhymes with baloney, says Fox Tracks definitely has a future south of the border. This enhances the telecast, especially for young fans and those in markets where the NHL has recently moved. Really? Do you think there's fans in Nashville right now that turn on a game and go, I don't even know where the puck is. Why are we watching this? Isn't CMT on? Glowing puck, never mind. Put that down. No, you turn that Carrie Underwood music off and watch TV. Yeah, right. Whatever. It was in one of those new NHL markets, All-Star host San Jose, where Fox Tracks had an initial trial run 4 months before the official introduction at the 1996 NHL All-Star Game. Gepner remembers watching anxiously from the puck truck. It takes a half dozen people to set this up. When the comet tail appeared, a cheer went up, he says, and a star of hockey's future was born. And there's the story of the glowing puck. So for you hockey purists who remember that 20 years ago, you're welcome for the horrible flashbacks. You're so welcome for the horrible flashbacks. The terrible awfulness of it. This is kind of funny. Sharks, Kelly Rudy, and Jeff Friesen showcase some of San Jose's must-see sites for your All-Star weekend. And not that there's anything wrong with it, but to me, right there, it looks like they're holding hands. So, Kelly Rudy had a really nice time with Jeff Friesen, and it's all legal now. Oh, and then, oh, and then they talk about like people from other sports being fans of the NHL. The NHL's always been so self-conscious. it's like, look, people from Hollywood watch us. Look, there's a guy wearing a hockey jersey that's a rap star. Like, I don't know why we're that self-conscious. I really don't. Oh man, this was when roller hockey was going big. And I mean, they're not selling sex or anything, but because they're hockey wives, right? So you wouldn't sell sex with. Oh, that's a series now? Oh, okay. All right. That was always a debate when I was back in the day when I was working with poultry instead of the uh, stuff I work with now. Okay, all right. I have to show this picture. I absolutely have to show this picture. Um, Pinnacle NHL Fantasy has a special appeal for young fans. Remember, special appeal for young fans. All right, where's all right? Look at the look on the face of that kid in the Bruins shirt. Does he look impressed at all? Like that kid has a look on his face like I just wish I was fucking dead. It might be because they stuck an Anaheim Ducks hat on his head. I know as a Bruins, if I was a Bruins kid and I got this creepy mascot guy standing next to me and somebody plunks an Anaheim hat on my head, I'm gonna look pretty fucking disgusted in that moment because it's immortalized. I wonder what kind of mental help that kid needed after that picture was published. But no, I remember a big topic of conversation back in around the time that I got this magazine actually was which Canuck had the hottest wife, and it's Cliff Ronning. I mean, wasn't even close, but um, it's always a topic of conversation is who has the hottest wife. So, that magazine plays up on it. Oh God, I forgot about the glowing puck. Oh, and here I was thinking, Shannon, you might find something in here to talk about, and then the glowing puck's in there. Isn't it such a big part of NHL's present? I have to say, NBC, they may have Pierre Maguire um, and Mike Milbury, two of the most aggravating hockey personalities there are. Two people who are most likely to make you change the channel away from what you're watching. But in terms of the presentation of the game, NBC doesn't treat fans like idiots. Yeah, there's times where Mike Emmerich explains what offsides is, and he explains why icing happened. But in general, it's a sport that is broadcast on NBC properly. They seem to understand you can't resort to gimmicks. And Fox as well at that time was trying to make itself one of the big three. You had CBS, ABC, and NBC. So when it came to sports, that was kind of their in, and Fox through their NFL contract really muscled their way into being one of the big contracts or one of the big networks. And now I would state that NBC is behind Fox in most respects. But wow, I'm really glad I found that article. And this is why I never throw magazines away. Because you could look at that back in 97 and go, ah, that's goofy, and then throw it out. And for me, it's like, that's fantastic. It's immortalized. It's great. Because, another 20 years from now, nobody's going to believe there was glowing pucks in hockey. I don't even have glowing pucks when I play NHL games. And I used to be able to do that. That used to be a feature that they had in the game was to make the puck with a glowing tail. I don't think you can do that in NHL 16, and I haven't looked for it. I do sometimes go with the bigger shadow, but that's totally different. I just that glowing puck broke me inside. I would go from Fox to CBC because CBC didn't broadcast the glowing puck. And it's, oh well, it's not well received in Canada. No, it wasn't. And, newsflash, if you're pissing off Canadians and making us turn the game off, some of us are going to be watching Fox. So your ratings are probably not gonna go up. Although I think, the Nielsen ratings come from American Helms, it doesn't matter. The point is, it was a colossal failure. The Fox bots made me angry and want to punch things. They suit the NFL because the NFL is this big, hard hitting, muscly, slow game. But hockey, it just didn't. It made me angry, very angry. So there you have it. It's an all-star game that has two rosters full of Hall of Famers. Full. There's nobody on either all-star team there that you could look at and go, "Oh, that guy sucked." You could say that about Tverdovsky, unless you watched him play back then. He was a pretty damn good defenseman. Both Hatchers were damn good at their jobs until foot speed became an issue. So what you're left with is a really, really solid roster, and the NHL was full of superstars back then. And I'll have to look up the rosters for this year's All-Star teams, and do a comparison of how many of the current guys I could say, yeah, they're going to be Hall of Famers. That should get me argued with. There's nothing like being argued with. Anyways, that was fun. Thanks for watching.